Music and let's plays and a couple other things such as skits and vid blogs. Also sometimes I sing. This sums up the Controller Show. Hello everyone, I am the Controller, and welcome back to Spooky Story Saturday. I have yet another spooky story for you guys. I know, big surprise. But this story is, as the one from yesterday, is a little bit different. So there's a subreddit on Reddit named No Sleep, and people post spooky stories there, kind of like the Creepypasta Wiki. But it's a Reddit group, so people just post stuff and people rate it up or down, and people still post stories there. And apparently some really good ones came out of No Sleep. As a matter of fact, the warning one that I read might have came out of No Sleep. I'm not totally sure. I read that from the Creepypasta Wiki, but I have a weird feeling that it came from the No Sleep subreddit. But anyway, the name of this story is I Work Security at Disney World. Well, I mean I did. So, yeah, this one takes place at Disney World, I guess. And the interesting thing about this is the last creepypasta that I read, well, I guess I should say the last scary story. The last scary story that I read that had anything to do with Disney was Abandoned by Disney, which is on the Creepypasta Wiki, for sure. And it's not very good. Let's just gotta be totally honest. It was posted back in 2013. The Abandoned by Disney story, not the story that I'm about to read. But people rate it pretty high, and it's just not that good. I remember it freaking me out when I was younger, but it's just not that good. I might read that at some point on the show. Maybe I'll read that some other Spooky Story Friday or Saturday. But anyway, this is actually one of the highest rating stories on the No Sleep subreddit. It has 13.7k upvotes, so people seem to like it. It was posted 4 months ago, and yeah, we are going to read it. So I hope you guys are all ready and buckled in for the story of working security at Disney World. I work in security at Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Typically, I wouldn't say where I work, as obviously there are some pretty strict rules about things employees can put online. So I just don't think I can tell this properly without that context. And honestly, I think this may be it for me anyway with this job. I just can't see myself working here any longer now. I've been with the company for 23 years. The first 20 years I worked in the parks, nabbing shoplifters and rounding up people who were drinking too much for the heat. Occasionally, there'd be a fight to break up, but people usually kept it pretty mild. The heat and walking was getting too much for me the last few years, so I asked to be transferred somewhere with AC, and the company moved me to one of their resorts. While the working conditions were 110% better as far as climate and comfort go, the guest issues were trickier, mainly domestics. I guess the expensive and stress of vacation got to a lot of people, and I'd be called by neighboring rooms because some mom and dad were yelling at each other. I tried to suggest that they take a nap or go do separate activities for a bit that would usually calm them down. But none of that is what I'm here for. I've got to get this out while I still have time. 3 days ago, I got a call from management. Apparently a couple of days before that, housekeeping had went into a room that should have been turned over that day. Turned over is when one guest sleeps about 11 a.m. and the next guest checks in at around 3 p.m. And all of the guest's items were still in the room. Housekeeping made a note of it and moved on, but during the next 2 days when they entered the room, everything was still there and untouched. I went to check it out, and sure enough there was an empty room full of luggage, clothes, snacks, some toys, everything a family would need for a vacation. The manager had already looked up the previous reservation, and it was for a family. Dad, Mom, 2 little kids. I tried to call the phone numbers they had given, but all I got was voicemail. We were a bit stumped, so I made the call that housekeeper could clean the room and take the family's personal items to be held until we got in contact with someone. I went digging into the reservation more. The family had to ride 5 days before housekeeping discovered all of their stuff. I found that the family had paid a parking fee and their vehicle description was listed. A quick walk of the parking lots and I had easily located their vehicle, so that ruled out a car accident or them deciding to just leave all their stuff behind. Next, I saw that they had bought a dining plan. This is when a guest prepays for all of their food. They're given a certain number of credits to use for meals. This family had only used 3 credits, and the last one was 2 days after they checked in. It appeared that the day they arrived, they got here late and probably just stayed on the resort. The next day, they used 2 credits at Epcot. The second park day, they just used 1 credit at Magic Kingdom, and it was at breakfast time. Now at Disney, we have something called Magic Bands. Magic Bands are worn by the guests and act as a room key, park ticket, credit card, dining reservation payment, fast pass, and more. It took some work, but I was finally able to look up this family's fast pass history. The day they went to Magic Kingdom, they had breakfast at a restaurant in the park, rode a couple of rides, and then rode their last ride. It's a Small World around 11 a.m. Then, nothing. Finally, it was time to bring in someone else on this. I called an old co-worker at Magic Kingdom and asked him to pull security footage for It's a Small World at the time they rode it, and I made my way over there. When I got there, my friend was very confused, almost distraught looking. He showed me what he found. There's usually a camera in the direction of where rides load and unload. The footage showed them scanning their bands to use fast passes for the ride and boarding the ride. The footage from the exit of the ride showed the other people in the car exiting. They weren't there. Of course we thought the worst. Maybe one of the kids have fallen out and mom and dad and the other kid got off in the middle of the ride to help. They all got injured or killed or stuck in machinery somewhere. So we shut down the ride. Middle of the damn day. Turned off that earworm music and turned up the lights. Me and my buddy walked that ride 3 times before we called in help. Eventually there was close to 10 cast members searching, and we didn't find shit, except for 3 cell phones and a hat. I was right stumped. I've kept digging the past couple of days, and I'm not sure who to tell what I found next to. I've called the police, and I suppose they're on the way, but the company has a way of covering up things like this, and I decided I can't live with myself if I don't put out some type of warning. I kept digging into the reservation over the last couple of days, and today I noticed that they had purchased Memory Maker. There are photographers all over the parks and cameras and a lot of rides, and with Memory Maker, the photos are all free. They automatically get added to a guest Disney account when the system knows a picture has been taken. And the system always knows. Everyone's whereabouts are always known with the Magic Bands. Well, I opened up their Memory Maker photo album and I swear, there's 732 pictures. The first 30 or so are pretty normal. Epcot, a few rides, in front of the castle. But the rest are all in It's a Small World. The rides only take 1 picture per go-around, so it appears as though this family has ridden this ride over 700 times. The first picture was pretty normal. Everyone looked happy. It was a busy day and a full car of guests. The next one is rough to look at. The car is empty except for this little family, and they look so darn confused. The next 10 to 15 I can see Dad getting angry, yelling. Mama's holding on to those 2 kids like her life depends on it, and you can see the kids getting increasingly upset, crying. And it goes on, and on, and on. After 50 or so, it looks like they're trying to get out. In one, the dad is missing. In another, they're all gone. Maybe like they bailed early in the middle of the ride and tried to walk out, but in the very next one, they're all right back in the damn car. After around 4:50 or so, I only see the mom and kids. It's just when I look closely I can see Dad, maybe just his body now, slumped down in one of the other seats. Since about 675, there's just Mom and 1 kid. Another body in the seat. The mom and kid aren't moving anymore. I think them 2 are still alive, just damn near catatonic, looking straight ahead, pale. And y'all, I swear on my fucking life, the dolls are moving or something. In some of these pictures, I can tell they aren't where they should be. I even saw one with a doll in the car with this family. I can't look anymore, or I'm going to lose my lunch. I close the album. Its file size has increased since I closed it. God, are there new pictures being added? I see on security cameras that the local PD just arrived, so they'll take over soon. I wish I knew what the fuck is going on, but I also wish this damn thing had never landed in my lap. I don't think I'll be able to update this. After I talk to the police, I think I'm just going to walk out of here and never come back. I just wanted to get this out there, before Disney feeds the media some bullshit cover-up as to why a whole family vanished. They didn't vanish. I know where they are. And that's the end of the story. So that was interesting. Pretty different than the one I'm used to reading. I know I keep saying that, but like, I mean, it just was. Like, the one gripe I kind of have about it is it didn't like fully explain what happened to the family. Like, apparently going on the ride, like, they just kind of vanished, and then they died. Like they're dead. They're definitely dead. Like, there can't. That has to be what happened. I mean, like, you saw their bodies and stuff, and yeah, like, so maybe it's like it's the dolls on It's a Small World, like, that killed that family, but I'm not sure. Kind of confusing, but it's a cool story if you just take it at face value. If you try to pick it apart and stuff, I think that's where it kind of starts to fall apart a little bit. I thought it was pretty cool that like the reservations and stuff, like that is pretty creepy to see that a family rode one ride 700 times. Like, that's all that they rode, and they just vanished and died. It's an interesting story. Something interesting about this story is in the comments section. It seems like people are trying to continue the story or something. It's kind of weird. None of the comments are posted by the person who wrote this story, so I'm not going to read those out, as I don't feel like those are actually part of the story. But like, someone named DPZ09, they add their own thing to the story, like because they said they're an ex-cast member, and they said, "I do not fuck with Small World," but like, doesn't really seem like it's part of the story, so I'm not gonna read that. Don't feel like it's actually part of the story. Just people trying to add on to what's already there, which is cool, but you know, it's not actually part of the story that was posted. But yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, I do kind of wish they explained a little bit more what happened to the family. Like, I mean, I guess it's just like a spooky ghost story kind of thing. Like, oh, did you guys ever hear that story of the family that just disappeared when they went to Disney World and rode Small World like 700 times? You know what I mean? Like, it really does kind of sound like a campfire scary story. Like it doesn't really have any like explanation for how, but you're just supposed to kind of take it as like it's like paranormal, like a paranormal story where just something that isn't normal happened to a normal family. Or it looked like a normal family anyway. I mean, I'm assuming they're normal. But yeah, I like that. I like that for what it was. That was that definitely earned the high rating that it got. I like the build up. I like the build up of like the employee like oh, I checked their reservation and they had this and this set up. They got magic bands. I liked how they used that memory maker thing where you get pictures for free if you pay for it. Like the ones that you take from the park at like professional photographers and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they incorporated a lot of like stuff that actually is at Disney World in order to make a spooky story. That's pretty cool. I like that story. I thought that was pretty good. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the story in the comments. And yeah. I would read the comments and stuff, but it all kind of seems like people trying to submit to the story instead of like commenting on it. it's just not there. But there's no real like talking about the, oh, someone says, why would you use the fast pass on Small World? And then someone replied with the real questions. The line gets long sometimes. You can totally fast pass it. You can totally fast pass it up but not miss anything important. Well, I mean, fucking Space Mountain. Try fast passing Space Mountain. That's the real shit. That ride's always fucking full, man. Don't even waste your time with It's a Small World. Like, don't get me wrong, I love It's a Small World, but like, it's not something I'm gonna waste a fast pass on. Or I don't think I've ever used a fast pass for It's a Small World. I'm not sure if I have. Yeah, I don't feel like I have. Huh. Oh, someone brought up the Duff Land from The Simpsons. Duff beer for me, Duff beer for you. I'll have a Duff, you have one too. Oh boy. Oh, someone put the lyrics to the song, which actually does make sense, going along with the ride of choice and the story being It's a Small World, because like there's two lines in that song, a world of tears, and then another line is and a world of fears. Like, that's probably the creepiest song that they have there at Disneyland. I mean, or Disney World, whatever. It's the same ride in both places. There's just some minor differences, but the song is the same. You get it. But yeah, that's interesting. Maybe that's why they picked that one. Maybe that's why they picked It's a Small World, is because some people do get creeped out by the dolls on Small World, and like the lyrics in the song kind of have like yeah, the whole song is like 80% of the song is happy, but well, like more like 95, but like the other 5%, like a world of tears and a world of fears, I always thought those were weird things to add into the song, but I don't know. I guess that's just part of the world. Those two aspects. But anyway, enough jibber jabbing. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Again, let me know down in the comments if you guys enjoyed the story. I know I did. I'm glad I picked this one. I thought it would be interesting to read about being a security guard at Disney World and something crazy goes wrong. This is a cool story. I liked it a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good day, guys.